before I get started with this video, I just want to say that this is inspired by Zonalith's video, who is inspired by Kuroblitz's video. So this is more or less inspired by them. If you want to check out Zonalith's video, the link is in the description.
Everything I've loved in this world, and even the curse that fell on me too.
Hello everybody, Infinite Shinjo here. Welcome to my Victory Road tag video. Now you've been no doubt following Ash's little excursion through the PWC, the World Coronation Series, and I'm here to tell you about my experience in the World Coronation Series, because mine's a little bit different from Ash's. As I'm sure you've no doubt heard that the PWC is a grand scale tournament where one person reigns over as the World Monarch and anybody has a chance to compete and eventually get a chance to battle this monarch. And even though my goal isn't the same as Ash's to battle Leon, my goal is slightly different. Mine is to battle Cynthia. Now, I'm sure you've no doubt heard about Cynthia from the lore of the Sinnoh region Elite Four, but in this universe, she has actually competed and succeeded to become the World Monarch. And much like other people, I have failed to defeat her as the champion of the Sinnoh region. So I'm here to hopefully get the chance to fight against Cynthia again. But I can't just wander into the World Coronation Series without a plan. First, I have to pick a team. And of course, traveling through the Kanto region, all the way through the Galar region, I have plenty of mons at my disposal. But the team I decide to go with is Infernape, Floatzel, a shiny Tyrantrum that I caught in the Kalos region, Nidoking, Cacturne, and Excadrill. And as well, since I have so many mons, I decided to include 3 separate mons as rotation to switch out on my team as I see fit. Those 3 are Hattrem, Heracross, and a Blastoise capable of Mega Evolving. So of course, before I even get a chance to battle Cynthia, first I have to go through the different tiers. And the first tier is the normal class. And in the normal class, battles are more or less 2-on-2. You can kind of bend the rules as you see fit as long as the 2 competitors agree. But overall, it's 2-on-2 for these battles. And in my normal class experience, I have battled 4 different trainers. The first battle is Clement's younger sister, Bonnie. Now, of course, Bonnie wanted to succeed Clement as the gym leader, but since Clement built his robot, she decided to compete in the World Coronation Series to kind of one-up her brother by being the World Monarch. And her team consists of Dedenne and Lapras. But of course, with my team, Bonnie was no challenge for me. The next battle in the normal class that I face is Silent, with his team of Simisage and Leavanny. My original run-through of my Unova team, I didn't get a chance to battle Silent, but in this scenario, I am more than capable of taking on his Grass-type foes. The third battle that I face in the normal class is Youngster Joey. You may think Youngster Joey is a bit of a pushover, and with 2 normal types, he kind of is. But to be fair, his Raticate and his Furret both give me a little bit of run for my money. But of course, with 2 fighting types at my disposal, it's no problem to face him. Final battle that I face in the normal class, and the deciding factor on me going to the Great class, is Gym Leader Brawly, who hails from the Hoenn region. Now of course, gym leaders, much like Silent before, they could simply use a base form of a mon, much like how Brawly initially uses Makuhita, but in this scenario, since it's a World Coronation battle, he's more than able to use any mon that he wants at his disposal. So in this scenario, I have to face his Hariyama and his Scrafty. But of course, Hariyama is weak to Psychic and Fairy, with Scrafty being a 4 times weakness to Fairy. So a situation like this is nothing for my team, as it's well prepared. So upon defeating Brawly, I am officially able to rank into the Great class. Now the Great class is only 1 step towards my goal of facing Cynthia. And the Great class is where things get a little bit dicey, because a lot of the trainers in the normal class were more or less base level trainers, but in the Great class they have more fully evolved mons and potentially even stronger opponents to face. So much like how in the normal class battles were 2-on-2, in the great class battles are 3 versus 3. So that makes things a little bit tougher to decide on which monster to use, especially since I mentioned earlier, the great class trainers are more experienced. In the great class, I'll face 4 trainers. The first battle is versus Gym Leader Blaine, with his Ninetales and Arcanine, but as usual, he's able to fully evolve his Magmar into Magmortar, since it's a very important ceremony. The next battle that I face is versus Gym Leader Jasmine, who has Magneton, Clang, and a Mega Steelix. And unfortunately to say, my team isn't exactly prepared for a Mega Steelix. Even though I have mons like Heracross and Infernape at my disposal, Rock-type moves really do a number on my team. And unfortunately, I lose this battle, so my rank goes down. But that's not going to get me down. I'll just dust off my shoulders and keep on going with my next battle in the Great Class, and that is versus Trial Captain Lana, who Lana is actually making small steps to become the kahuna of the island. As you can very well see in her team, being a Primarina, a Lantern, and a Araquanid. All 3 very strong water types in their own right. But of course, a battle like this for my team is exactly what I needed to get back on my feet. And upon defeating Lana, I get notification that this next battle is my deciding factor on moving into the Ultra class. This last battle, if I win it, can advance me into that class. And my last battle that I have to face is against Gym Leader Jasmine again. And of course rocking the Mega Steelix like before, but this time evolving her Magneton into a Magnezone and employing the power of her Ampharos from Olivine Tower. But considering the fact that I lost to her once before, I don't want to do something like that again. So in a very close fought battle, I'm able to take on her Mega Steelix and win with the help of my Mega Blastoise. Because of that, that grants me passage into the Ultra class. Now, much like the Great class before, the Ultra class is filled with a lot more skilled battlers. Much like before, a lot of the weaker trainers were weeded out in the previous matches. So, the Ultra class is where things get serious. Especially since all of these trainers have the potential to face Cynthia. The Ultra class battles will be 4-on-4. So, it's a little bit more challenging, but it's, again, nothing too terrible that my team can't handle. Just as long as I don't run into any more Steel-type trainers. Because so many trainers got knocked out in the previous rankings, this time I'll only face 3 trainers. And the first trainer that I'll face is Gym Leader Whitney. A lot of you might be shivering after hearing the sound of that name, but I assure you, I am used to facing normal-type foes. And this is no different for me. The fact that her Ursaring has the potential to have guts, and her Miltank being a monster as it is a little bit threatening, but with the help of my 2 fighting type mons that I have on my team, it's no challenge for me. Next battle that I'll be facing is against Bede. Now, Bede is an interesting case. He wants to win the World Coronation Series, so he can hopefully get out of Opal's grasp, who's trying to make him become a gym leader of Balonia City. And to that end, he uses Galarian Rapidash, Gardevoir, Gothitelle, and Hatterene. Pretty strong foes with wide variety in movesets, but considering that 3 of them are weak to poison type moves and they're all weak to ghost and dark type moves, it's no problem for my team. But my last battle in the Ultra class is where things get a little bit tricky because it's a trainer who doesn't really stick with a solid type on their team, and that is Hao. Hao from the Alola region is here with a vengeance to challenge Cynthia and become the strongest in the world, trying to make his grandfather Hala proud. And because of that, he's using Komala, Flareon, Decidueye, and in my opinion, his Acemon Alolan Raichu. His Alolan Raichu is a threat, but I'm able to overcome it. And after defeating Hao, that grants me passage into the Masters 8. Now, like the title suggests, only 8 trainers can be in the Masters 8. Much like how the other tiers are increasing the amount of Pokemon they can use, in the Masters 8 you can use 5 different Pokemon in one battle. Except for the final battle where you're able to use all 6 Mons on your team. In the Masters 8, since there's 8 competitors, it'll play out in a tournament style. So, aside from myself and Cynthia, who I already know will be in the tournament, it's time to scope out the competition to see what I have to work with. And the other trainers that have made it are Gym Leader Sabrina, Gym Leader Claire, Giovanni and Guzma, of all people, Wally, and Bonnie. Somehow, all of these trainers have able to defeat other competitors and make it into the Masters 8. Not sure why they didn't run background checks, but who am I to judge? Since this is a tournament style, whoever I face first depends on randomization. And here are the first round matchups. It looks like I'm facing Sabrina first, and Bonnie's facing Wally, Cynthia versus Claire, and Giovanni versus Guzma. Very interesting matchups. So, of course, Cynthia, being a gym leader from Kanto employing the Psychic type Pokemon, is a little bit of a tough challenge. And with her team being in the Masters 8, her team is a lot more stronger than you would initially face her in Kanto, having Swoobat, Sigilyph, Mr. Rhyme, Exeggutor, and a Mega Alakazam. I never really brought it up to this point, but as far as Mega Evolutions, Z-moves, or even Gigantamax Mons, you're able to use only one of them per battle. Some situations I use my Mega Blastoise in, but other times I just rely on my Infernape. But of course, being a Psychic type trainer, I can't really rely on my Infernape in this battle. And it's a very close battle, and it comes down to her Mega Alakazam versus my Tyrantrum. But of course, with the strong jaw ability and crunch, it's able to make easy work of Mega Alakazam. So aside from myself, let's see who else made it into the top 4. And the top 4, of course Cynthia made it, no surprise. Guzma actually defeated Giovanni, and Bonnie defeated Wally, which means I'm going to be facing Bonnie for another match in the Masters 8. Now of course, just like Sabrina, Bonnie uses a bunch of different Mons on her team than you initially battle her. And her team this time revolves around Dedenne, Tyrantrum, Delphox, Florges, and a Gigantamax Lapras. Somehow during her travels, she was able to feed her Lapras Gigantamax soup, and she successfully made it able to use Gigantamax. Of course, in a match like this, with a fully evolved team, it is a little bit rough for me, and it does boil down to her Gigantamax Lapras versus my Nidoking. Of course, even though my Nidoking has a weakness to water and ice type moves, I came prepared for this and gave my Nidoking Thunderbolt to match Lapras. And because of this, I'm able to defeat her Gigantamax Lapras and earn the right to challenge Cynthia. And it looks like Cynthia did defeat Guzma. So the final match will be versus me and Cynthia, just the way I like it. Of course, Cynthia's team, being strong already in the Sinnoh region, has a bunch of different Pokemon on her team this time. She uses Garchomp, Lucario, Gastrodon, Togekiss, Braviary, and Glaceon. So a mix of her Diamond and Pearl team with her Black 2 and White 2 team. Of course, in a situation like this, I'm not concerned with Lucario, Gastrodon, Togekiss, Braviary, or Glaceon. The big threat on her team is easily that Garchomp. And the final battle ends up being between her Garchomp and my Infernape. And of course, being our 2 ace Pokemon, it just makes perfect sense that this is the way that it would end. But of course, with the strong bond that my Infernape and I have, we are able to defeat Cynthia, and it's because of that I'm able to become the new World Monarch and await anybody else that wants to challenge me. Hello everybody, Infernape Shinjo here. I hope you enjoyed that video. It's a lot more of a heavily edited video than what I usually do, but I saw Zonala's video on it and I thought it was a really cool concept, so I wanted to throw my spin on it. If you enjoyed, hit that like button down below, subscribe if you haven't. If you want to leave your own take on what you would do in this tag video, feel free to comment down below or make a video on your own and tag me in it. Just any way you feel comfortable. I'll see you next time. Momentai.